if you're an overthinker, I'm guessing you've heard it all before, right? That it's a flaw, something you need to fix. But what if that's completely wrong? What if it's actually a sign that your mind works in a really rare and powerful way? Okay, let's dive into this and completely reframe what it means to be an overthinker. Does this sound familiar? That feeling of your mind just running a marathon while your body is completely exhausted? It's like your brain has a mind of its own and it just refuses to hit the off switch, no matter how much you wish it would. You're lying in bed and suddenly you're replaying some random conversation from hours ago, or even years ago, just picking apart every single word. Or how about this one? Your mind just loves to leap forward, painting these super vivid, high-def pictures of every single thing that could possibly go wrong. If any of this is hitting home, you're definitely not alone. And more importantly, it's not a malfunction. Okay, so what is actually going on inside our heads? Let's get a really clear picture of what overthinking looks and feels like, because honestly, just recognizing the pattern is the first huge step to understanding it. Well, according to psychologists, there are some pretty clear signs. There's that constant low-level hum of anxiety. There's the struggle to make even simple decisions. What to eat for dinner can feel like a life or death choice. And of course, there's that bone-leap mental exhaustion. You might also find yourself stuck on old mistakes or realize that things you used to love just aren't fun anymore because your mind's too busy. And this is where it gets really important to draw a line in the sand. There's a huge difference between productive thought and its evil twin, rumination. See, healthy planning is all about finding solutions. It moves you forward. Overthinking, or rumination, just keeps you stuck, spinning your wheels on the problem itself, which only leads to more anxiety and ultimately inaction. Right, so why? Why do our brains seem to love getting stuck on this hamster wheel of thought? Well, it turns out this isn't some new age problem. Its roots go deep, way back into our biology and all the way up into modern society. Think about it from a survival standpoint. Our ancestors, the ones who worried about what might be lurking in the bushes, were the ones who, didn't get eaten. That instinct to anticipate threats is baked right into our DNA. Then you layer on top of that our modern world, which constantly praises and rewards deep analytical thinking. We're trained from a young age to think more, dig deeper, and sometimes that gets turned against us. Okay, and this is the pivot. This is the part where we flip the whole script. Because what if we've been looking at this completely backward? What if the very things that fuel your overthinking are actually clues to some incredible hidden strengths? Let's get into it. All right, number one. You know that habit of constantly imagining what could go wrong? That's not just your brain being a worrywart. It's forecasting. Your brain is literally running simulations, seeing potential outcomes and consequences that other people completely miss. You don't overthink because you're scared. You overthink because you're built to be prepared. Okay, on to number two. And what about replaying those old conversations over and over? That's not insecurity talking. It's actually a sign of deep emotional responsibility. You're not just hung up on what you said, you're analyzing the emotional ripples you created. That's empathy on a whole other level. And this next one, man, this explains so much, especially that feeling of being totally wiped out all the time. If you feel exhausted just from, existing sometimes, here's why. You have a depth of processing that's off the charts. Your brain isn't just seeing the world, it's absorbing it. Every tiny shift in tone, every bit of body language, the entire energy of a room. Things most people filter out completely. And that really brings us this core truth. Your mind is like a high-performance engine. If you don't give it something complex to work on, it starts to take itself apart. You just weren't built for boredom. And that need for a real challenge, it leads us right into our fourth hidden strength. See, overthinking is really just a powerful imagination that's unemployed. It doesn't have a job to do. The very same mental machinery that can cook up a dozen disaster scenarios is the exact same machinery that can dream up brilliant solutions, create stunning art, or innovate an entire industry. It just needs a mission. All right, and our fifth and final trait. This one really gets to the heart of why making a decision can feel like, well, like torture sometimes. That agonizing struggle over choices, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of incredibly high internal standards. You're not just looking for an answer. You're on a quest for the right answer. You're searching for quality, for truth, for integrity. Shortcuts just aren't in your vocabulary. Okay, so now that we know these aren't flaws but superpowers in disguise, how do we actually use them without getting trapped in that anxiety spiral? The goal here isn't to shut your brain up, it's to give it a better job. Here's a really simple 4-step process you can use anytime you feel that spiral starting. Step 1. Just acknowledge it, no judgment, just notice, hey, I'm doing that thing again. Step 2. Anchor yourself in the now. What can you physically see, hear, feel? Get out of your head and into your body. Step 3. Ask one simple question. Is this thought productive or am I just on a loop? And finally, step 4. Take one tiny action. Anything. Get a glass of water, stand up, whatever. Just break the thinking pattern with doing. And all of this leads to a massive, fundamental shift in how you see yourself. Your mind isn't the problem. It never was. You've probably been told a million times to just stop thinking so much or try to relax. But that's like telling an Olympic sprinter to just stop running. You're completely missing the point of what that tool is built for. And that brings us to the real takeaway here. The solution isn't to silence your mind. It's to give it something truly worthy of its power. Your brain is a supercomputer. The real work is finding the problems, the projects, the passions that are big enough for it to solve. So when you finally stop fighting this incredible part of yourself and start partnering with it, the question changes. You're no longer asking, what's wrong with me? Instead, you get to ask something way more exciting. Once you accept that this isn't a bug, but a feature, what is your mind truly capable of?